You may not know it, but telecommunications is a significant part of your everyday life. It involves a range of telecommunications issues, licenses, regulations, legislation, and expertise. Telecommunications impacts directly on the national economy. Something as simple as handheld radios used in various applications need frequency authorization. And even wireless microphones use frequencies that have to be managed. The cell phone number that you use was authorized by the NTRC through a numbering plan. So a set of numbers are assigned to each service provider and to each island. This is where the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission (NTRC) comes in. The NTRC forms part of the regulatory machinery in which ECTEL, the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, provides policy direction and acts in the capacity of a technical repository. The NTRC is appointed by the Minister of Telecommunications. The NTRC commissioners are effectively advisors to the Minister of Telecommunications. They provide guidance on formulating national policy on telecommunications with the objective of ensuring that the telecommunications and broadcasting services are delivered efficiently and in compliance with regulations and legislation. The NTRC is also responsible for making sure that providers meet the highest possible technical standards so that your phone or internet service is reliable. It also ensures that your favorite radio station broadcasts within the stipulated frequencies. Another major responsibility of the NTRC is the regulation of prices for telecommunications services. At instances where the market is regulated, prices cannot be set by providers without the approval of the Commission. Section 44 of the Telecommunications Act establishes a fund to be known as the Universal Service Fund, or USF. The USF shall be managed by the Commission and shall be for the promotion of universal service to telecommunications and ICT networks and/or services. Universal service includes the provision of public voice telephony, internet access, telecommunications services to schools, hospitals, and similar institutions, and the disabled and physically challenged. Persons or organizations interested in offering telecommunications services to the general public must obtain the appropriate licenses. All license applications must go through the NTRC. There are different classes of licenses depending on what services are to be offered. There are 4 license categories: individual licenses, class licenses, frequency authorization, and special licenses. The individual license is for organizations that lay infrastructure and networks to provide an efficient service to the public. Some examples are the operations run by phone companies, internet service providers, radio paging services, and submarine cables. Applications for these services are evaluated by ECTEL. Class licenses are given to operators of amateur radio and radio communication services used by ships and aircraft. Generally, a frequency authorization is required for all uses of spectrum. For instance, the assignment for this spectrum allows for the establishment of television and radio stations. Special licenses are granted on a short-term basis for emergencies but for a period not exceeding 10 days and are not renewable. So those special licenses are issued to persons who, for example, need to respond to national disasters. Persons importing telecommunications equipment will be required to obtain the requisite license and complete the telecommunications inspection form for customs purposes and obtain approval for release from the Commission and Customs Department if necessary. Persons who wish to provide maintenance, repair services, install office or home networks, or any related installation at customer premises must register with the Commission. This includes the installation of fax machines, PBXs, or telephone sets. The Act states that, quote, a person shall not install, sell for use, or use any item of equipment in St. Lucia unless the Commission grants a certificate of type approval in respect to that equipment," unquote. Application forms for any of the above licenses can be found on the NTRC website. It is essential that persons who wish to offer telecommunication services to the general public or for private purposes seek guidance and the appropriate license from the NTRC. Failure to do so could lead to penalties outlined in the Communications Act. So it is wise, if you are thinking of providing telecommunication services, to get familiar with the Act. As a consumer, you have rights and can complain to the NTRC if the service you are getting is below what was promised or unsatisfactory. Every complaint will be investigated, and if merited, corrective actions will be recommended, subsequent to seeking redress from the provider. The NTRC was established to ensure the general public gets a quality service at a price that is reasonable to both the consumer and the service provider. There is so much more the NTRC is involved with. Feel free to visit our website or to call our office for additional information. Telecommunications is an integral part of our lives, and the NTRC is the entity that protects your interest. The National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, ensuring standards in an evolving technological world.